In this video, I'm gonna tell you 5 things you should never tell your recruiter. Stop telling your recruiter you just want to see what you qualify for. That screams red flag to a recruiter. You just want to go to MEPS and see if you can qualify for the job that you want most. So what that says to recruiters, if you don't qualify for that job, then you're most likely not going to want to join the Air Force. And secondly, what it says to your recruiter is now that you qualify for that job, that's the only one that you want. Which brings me to my second point. Don't tell your recruiter you want to join the Air Force for one job. I think I made a couple videos about this already. I made one about can you wait for your job to come available before you go to basic training. And also I made one about the top 5 most terrible reasons to join the Air Force. And in both of those videos, I told you that it's a bad idea to join the Air Force for one job. And let me try to explain why. All right, so in your recruiter squadron, that's basically like where all the other recruiters in that area, that's who they recruit for, the squadron. The squadron can get anywhere from 50 to 150 jobs per month. The recruiter's jobs are to go and find people who are interested in those 50 to 150 different jobs per month. You can have an average of about maybe 50 recruiters per squadron, maybe more, maybe less. And each one of these recruiters has about 5, maybe 6 people to themselves who want to join the Air Force at any given time. So if you multiply that 50 times 5, that's 250 people, right? 250 people waiting for jobs. There's usually about maybe 2 to 3 medical jobs a month, a couple different administration jobs, and the rest is pretty much mechanical, linguists, electronics, some special warfare jobs, some intel jobs, cop. That's pretty much it. That's like the bulk of what's being recruited for. So when you come in and you say you only want one job, if your job isn't one of those jobs that's being recruited for, it's not gonna work. You're gonna turn your recruiter away. Your recruiter's gonna say, nah, I'm sorry, I can't work. Because they know it'll be a waste of time for bringing you on. You're gonna be in a delayed entry program forever trying to find you a job. And my third point of things not to tell your recruiters, when you're going over those medical questions, make sure you're right. And what I mean by this is, one time I had this applicant, when we got to a question about have you ever had any kidney problems, he answered yes to it. So I was like, okay, can you tell me about it? He said, I don't really remember the issue. I was like 4 years old. I had to go to the hospital for my kidneys. He said they gave him some medicine and everything was fine. So I'm like, have you had any issues since? He's like, nope, no issue since. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to go get all the medical records for that so we can show our doctors what was going on. The whole time his mom is sitting outside in the car letting him have this appointment. When the appointment was done, she comes in the office and she's like, how'd everything go? I'm like, everything's cool. I just need him to get some medical records for his kidney issues he had when he was younger. So the mom was like, kidney issues? I'm like, yeah, he told me he had some kidney issues when he was 4 years old. He had to go to the doctor. And she was like, what? He didn't have any kidney issues. That was a UTI. So I'm like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, that was it. I forgot. Bruh. So my thing is, we want you all to tell us your medical issues, but we want you to be right about them as well. The last thing we want you to do is get disqualified for an issue that you never really had. And this kind of brings me to my 4th point is stop telling your recruiter lies. Oh my God, you guys are gonna get yourself in trouble with all those lies. Let me tell you why. Some of you are gonna get like a top secret job or a job with a higher security clearance. Those jobs are gonna do a deeper background check on you. And not only that, some of them may have you do a polygraph when you get to tech school. That's when things start coming out. And now since you're in the Air Force and you got caught lying, they can get you for fraudulent enlistment. And you don't want those problems. Secondly, if you smoked weed like 2 weeks ago, don't tell your recruiter that you smoked like 2 months ago. So what happens is, let's say your recruiter wants to send you up to MEPS and get you started in the process right away. You smoked weed 2 weeks ago, but you're too afraid to tell your recruiter, I'm sorry, I was lying to you, I actually smoked 2 months ago. Now you go up to MEPS, you pop dirty on the urinalysis, you can't ever join the Air Force again. And my last point is stop telling your recruiter that you know people in the Air Force or you know people in the military who told you different than what the recruiter's saying. I promise you, they don't know what a recruiter does. Unless they actually are a recruiter, if you're hearing from a recruiter that your recruiter is doing something wrong, then you probably got some ground to stand on. But if they're just in the Air Force or they're just in the military and they're telling you, no, that's not how it works, I promise you, they probably don't know what they're talking about. Now, if you're thinking about joining the Air Force and you're like, well, Jody, you just told me not to lie, so if I tell the truth, I'm gonna be disqualified, then maybe you should watch this video. It's a video about how our waiver process is done, and it's also a story about one of the hardest waivers I had to do. Like I always say, I hope this video brought value to you. Stay beautiful, stay classy, and until next time, check me out.